Today we want to delve deeper into what transpires in these churches. You know, sometimes people are afraid to talk about the things. And luckily, the 256 Skeptics are here. Christianity came to Uganda particularly through the colonialists. These guys brought the religion or faith in about 1877 or something. The Anglicans were the first. Second came the Catholics, I think about 4 years after. That's like 1879. But surprisingly, by 1844, Muslim religion or faith was already here. Around 1960.
Yeah, 1960.
The Pentecostal faith. Or a blend of Christianity that the world had not seen before. Not spread by the Roman Catholic Church, not by Martin Luther, the one who started Anglican faith.
It was the Queen of England. Martin Luther, there's already a church for Martin Luther. So the Queen is
Anglican.
Actually, the backstory, remember that series called Tudors.
Yes.
Yeah, now in Tudors, that's where the battle was. The king wanted to marry
Again.
Yes.
King Henry.
Notice that there's
He
always
couldn't be
woman
allowed.
somewhere.
Yes.
The Pope couldn't accept it.
Divorce couldn't be
So a divorce couldn't be accepted.
Yes.
So then they decided, I think there's some gentleman called Cromwell or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They now who decided to make a new faith for England.
For England. And the birth of Anglicanism.
Yeah, it started from there.
So basically, you're trying to say it is based on getting married.
Okay.
No, it's based on
No, it was one of the cataclysm.
okay, you know, it's one of those things like it is the straw
The
that
spark.
broke the
It's a-
camel.
Yeah. The
That's
spark.
It's the straw that broke the camel.
So
Then-
those guys wanted to get married. Simple.
By then it was very
For him
important.
to do it in a church.
Yes.
Because-
And to have the backing of the church.
Because what mattered is that for the prince who would be king
Yes.
had to be a legitimate child.
Yes.
And the only way you could be legitimate was
If your parent was married.
if your parent was married.
Oh.
So they didn't want a bastard.
Yeah.
To
you
take
didn't-
over the
Yeah,
throne.
to take over. So you have to be married for.
So
for
they
it
had
be
to create a
legitimate.
new church to avoid having a bastard.
Okay. In has come Pentecostal way of worship. But it is Christianity, you get it? This is like 1960. Then these guys keep propagating it. They were persecuted a little bit during the time of Idi Amin.
No, that wasn't a little bit. That was thoroughly.
You know, the guys had to run churches underground because he was not recognizing them. For him, he used to say, me, I know a few religions and those are the ones. After Idi Amin's reign, about by 79 there, freedom came back, freedom of worship came. Everyone was like, okay, let's do worship as you please, just like our constitution. Now, from 2004, this is just a random statistic I found. 2004 to 2014, when Uganda now was taking proper statistics, the Pentecostal faith grew at the rate of 6.7 per annum. Just
The same as the economy.
between 2.4.
Must be a relationship.
Imagine between 2004 and 2014, the growth kind of skyrocketed, and this has been going on from then till now. Now, us being skeptics, especially Ugandan skeptics, we cannot let this just slide by.
Yes.
We have to get to the bottom of this. Why? What do you think is leading to the rapid growth
Of other churches.
Pentecostal church at the expense of these other faiths?
The times are changing. It means people are changing. Now, the other old churches or other beliefs are still stuck to the doctrines they have. Okay? Now, let me speak as a Catholic.
Yes.
With the Catholic faith, we have a very book. I think it's called the Missa. Okay?
Yes.
It has the readings of next Sunday,
Yes.
Evangeli.
prearranged. Okay.
Okay.
It has the ones of the other Sunday. It even has the ones of December 25th. So it is the same routine. You get the point? It's the message that you only get the difference. Like if I'm the priest,
When
I'm
the sermon part
the
comes.
the sermon comes, then maybe I'm good at giving the sermons, but the readings are the same. Okay? The songs they recite or sing in church are the
So
same.
it's like a daily guide.
you know?
I mean,
Yes.
So
Now
people
come
want a
to-
new thing.
Now come these churches where they even have remixes. There's a song and it's being remixed. There's even a DJ
Ah,
on the
in
turntable in church.
Yeah.
You know, it depends. Now, like, we have more youth
More youth in the country, yes.
in the country, okay?
So you're
And
saying that they are, due to the trend, these churches are attracting them a bit more.
a bit more.
I practically don't think that is the issue.
What's
Because if the trend was the times, that means as you grow older, that means you would want to leave the kind of, DJing and all the music and the hype, isn't it? You would want to say, now, okay, now that phase is done. Now I'm older. I'm more now refined. I'll become a gentleman instead of a ruffian or whatever.
Yes, kind
And then I'll put on a suit and whatever. Okay, synopsis. I've seen, born again, services on TV. These are more people who put on suits when they go to church. They want to wear this, and like any other congregation, there is music and all this. And I think there is a symptom of looking for a refuge, a
Yes.
place where you can have yourself heard. Born again churches have this center they speak to your problem. Okay.
direct?
Though it's general, but they speak to your problem. You have, in the Catholic Church, you have generalized, like they speak to the world. People will be like, peace or whatever.
Yeah.
But born again churches are more into community,
Best
focus.
program.
So you
and
have
community programs.
you have a pastor or a preacher talking to the people in the community
directly.
personal.
So their relationship
Yeah,
cultivated
there's a
between
relationship.
the congregation and
the people
leaders
is known
is
third
more-
hand. Like, you
But you should not leave the financial aspect in it as well.
You know what I think? I've always told people, I look at faith the same way I would look at an infection.
Okay.
Christianity, at the core of it, it's a culture
Yes.
of certain people in Europe.
Yes.
Their way of life. So their, what would be like their guideline of how to live life is their faith. The same way we have our Entandaza Uganda and all that. Just the
Culture
difference
notes,
is, for them, someone sat down and wrote.
Scripted.
The mere writing is the, what should I call it? Like the vector.
the
is what infects everywhere. Now, it being an infection, how is it spread?
By
How is it spread? So if you look at the traditional churches, for them their spreading points are known,
yeah.
and there's a procedure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two, what they teach.
Yeah.
The traditions are still teaching us the culture, how to behave. They'll teach marriage. They have sacraments.
Yeah.
Those are their guiding principles. Now the Pentecostals, it's open game. It's open
Free
game.
fall.
If it's politics now, you preach about it. if it's school fees, you preach about it. And I think the ability for the Pentecostals to mutate anywhere, they gain more infections.
I think I will side with him on open game because I've discovered opening up a Pentecostal church is personal.
Personal as in?
I can buy land in Nigeria and set up a church.
Okay, don't they have?
I
like,
don't.
some-
I've not seen that anywhere.
Even here,
I
we
think
can
the
say that
rules-
now we're going to start preaching
We can start preaching
every day.
every day.
Oh,
We just talk to this guy like Sunday or Monday evening.
we are like Jikoni Church.
church.
No, we shall be recording our sermons
Yes.
and sending them out.
Sending them out.
The four of us.
You get the point.
We shall have a
Before you know it,
following.
we shall have a following.
But this is already some in some sort of way.
In regard to Christ.
Yes. So I think with open game, because you see with the churches, you cannot have two churches in one setting. For example, if you take a span of like, let's say from Nakawa, okay, to Chireka, or to Wege, you're going to have what we call the smaller churches
Yeah.
that respond or have to get all the guidelines from the main church in the area that
Yes.
people call parishes.
Yes.
You have the parishes and the
So
sub.
it's an administrative structure.
You get the point.
Yeah.
There's that administrative
They have a
structure.
parish like
You get the point.
sub-county.
And secondly, you're in, for example, Chambogo as a priest there. You're heading
Yes.
the church. Tomorrow you'll be in Luero.
Yes.
That
so
is
there's
not-
transition
Yes.
and rotation. Yeah.
Now with these Pentecostal churches, if you start your church,
The pastor.
it is your church.
You decide what.
You can even make people. You can actually. I've seen
They
this.
have MOUs.
I've seen these people make people contribute money to build a church.
Yes.
We need our church,
Yes.
but the church is in the names of the pastor.
Yes.
But
But
it
he-
is their church.
It's everyone's church
It's everyone's-
until you
yeah.
come to demand for something. You're like, okay, the pastor doesn't need a car, but it is
You
our
get the
church,
point.
So, the pastor
So I
is
think
serving.
that open way of doing things has
Has amplified their growth.
yes.
So basically, you're saying that it's a capitalistic system
So
in
much.
religion.
Now, yes, okay.
So much to an
there's,
extent, yes.
there's a little bit of a freedom around them, whereas for Catholicism or Anglican, you have to get maybe
It's
some
regulated.
It
way-
is regulated. There's so many regulations. Okay, there are regulations on what time you'll have the masses.
Yes.
Okay, there are regulations on what time you should sleep. You should not be in public at this particular time. Okay,
Is there-
avoid such events.
Is there
Yes,
a
there are those
limit on
guidelines.
what to speak about, what to
Yes,
what
there are also
message
those
you should have?
guidelines. Like if we have a political fight,
Yes.
okay, that's okay. You can talk about it, but
Up to this limit.
Or this case of this reverend who was denying a child.
Yes.
Remember?
I remember that.
The church had to come in and manage,
Yes.
manage the
And be like,
situation.
go
Yes.
Organize
You see?
yourself.
So you have to be married. You have to do this. So the
Yes.
guy was forced to go and get married quickly, and then
and then
you understand?
legitimize the
and
whole
Yes.
legitimize everything.
So that kind of regulation
kind of
keeps them at bay to some. The expansion has is
It reduces the infection rate.
yes, but with these other ones,
So and then I heard now in light of that the regulation thing, I heard in Rwanda in 2017 or
Yes.
2018 the government kind of banned or stopped the
more than
operation
100
of-
churches.
No, actually 700.
Yes, I've been to a place. I don't know how they call that place. If I remember the name, I tell you the place. Lunguja. There's a place where I go and do my mechanics.
Okay.
But in a span of 15 kilometers to the mechanic,
Yes.
there are 6 churches.
6.
6.
There's a big population.
You get the
in
point?
area.
6.
They have to serve the
You
area.
get the point? Now, I'm imagining what happens.
6 churches having Catholics.
No.
Anglicans.
All these
Six
are
Pentecostal.
born again
Pentecostal.
churches.
Oh,
6. Now, I kept imagining, because there's a time I went on a Sunday, and 2 meters, noise. So I was like, how does these people handle this? You get the point? Now, that was a problem in Kigali or Rwanda. Like the churches were so many in even residential areas.
All right.
but now we have to be very careful. What we are looking at is their growth rate is
Yeah.
higher. They don't
Yes.
have a regulation.
Yes,
In
and I was still telling you why. Their first thing was noise.
Yes.
But one other very important aspect was most of these people that had begun these churches were actually stealing from their own people.
How?
You get the point?
So the
like,
Rwandese government
have
came
you
in to
ever
address-
gone to a church that is just starting, like it is new, like it is, okay, let's say 1 year old? I've gone to one of these churches and we have made offerings like 8 times. There's a basket for the window.
The window.
There's a basket for a trench. You see the front trench where you're passing? We are affected by it. There's a
Because,
basket. The pastor has someone who has said he wants to get married. You know? There's actually a basket they were collecting for people who would want to ever get married. So the church must have some funds.
So
In
wait,
that, if you wake up and you're like, I've chosen so and so in the church. It's very abnormal, actually. Actually, let me
Extremely.
tell you, if I was in the
the
church,
two of them.
actually, if I was in the church,
It's more normal
having
to
sex
be
with
with
a
a
nun would be more abnormal than having sex with an altar boy. To me, no, if I was looking at abnormality.